Sunday morning. Usually I do the recaps right after the game, but West Coast game ended at around 1 o'clock. Not too up to do the recap of the Clipper game, but first of all, let me say that I really did not expect the Nets to compete very well in this game. I expected a 110-87 loss, kind of wire-to-wire beating. You know, just kind of had that feel. And, of course, we know that I do tend to lean on the side of pessimism as opposed to optimism. But how could you blame me? The Clippers are a tough team at home. You know, Nets have played 2 good games on the road, to do for a stinker. But what do? They come out and they not only compete, but they're in position to win the game with 3.5 quarters of very good basketball. Unfortunately, what happens to the Nets many times this season, we've been very hard on Darren Williams in the early part of the season. And lately he's been great. So we've kind of jumped on his coattails a little bit. But, you could put, in my opinion, this game has a lot to do with him and that huge turnover. It reminded me a lot of the Dallas game when he had, or maybe it wasn't Dallas. It was one of those home games. Maybe it was Houston or Memphis where whether it was tied or we're down 2 and he turned the ball over with a bad decision. He's not a great, he has not proven that he's a great fourth quarter player for the Nets. Yes, he had a good fourth quarter against Dallas, just this last game. But if you look at his body of work this season, his shooting percentage is in the 20s in the fourth quarter. And he makes big mistakes. Man, you could put it on both ends. He was basically schooled. If there's any debate, who's the best point guard in the league or who's better? Really? The one guy scores 17 in the fourth quarter, gets any shot he wants, and the other guy, is the guy getting the beating in that fourth quarter and makes one of the most ridiculous passes you'll see in a clutch situation. Down 2 and a lazy pass to Wallace that was stolen for the big. It was really the end of the game. But, he wasn't awful, Darren. He did score 18 points. He had 9 assists. The 3 turnovers, but the big one, -3 when he's on the floor. Lopez, strange, man. If he's 9 of 14, those numbers are good, but guy had 2 rebounds. How are you 7 foot and you play 33 minutes of basketball and you get 2 rebounds? I just can't get through that. Now, I know Reggie makes up for it. Reggie had a big day again, 16 boards. I love Reggie. Did a nice job on Griffin. But, and then Brook misses 2 big free throws. We didn't do the right things down the stretch. I thought Wallace was terrific. It was great to see him make some shots. He was 5 for 8. Made 2 threes, which is, we haven't seen him make 2 threes in a long time. 15 points, 3 more steals. I love the way the guy plays. He plays his ass off. But Joe Johnson, 6 for 18. Joe Johnson, right now you have to rank him as probably the most overpaid player in the sport. Yes, he's won some big games, and I know what he's done in the fourth quarter and the last minute of games. I understand that. So that's what gives him somewhat of an out. But every night, Joe Johnson is shooting in the 30s. He's 4 for 12. He's 4 for 15. 6 for 18 tonight. Disappears. He was 0 for 7 from 3. 0 for 7. Joe Johnson really is getting on my nerves. I'm really starting to not like Joe Johnson. I don't want to. I got to live with him for 4 more years. He's supposed to be my assassin, my go-to guy. I don't dislike him as a human being. I'm not saying that, but I'm starting to really dislike Joe Johnson as a player. And I know I'm off the deep end a lot, but to me, 6 for 18, it happens every night. Blatche was a big reason why the tide turned. He was absolutely disgraceful in his 15 minutes. He did not score. He was 0 for 3, and he turned the ball over twice. And he was also poor defensively. I like the fact that Humphries is in the mix. Hopefully, his numbers. He didn't score, He only had 2 boards, but he gave you 10 minutes in that first half. I thought he guarded hard, had a nice block that led to a little momentum the other way. Bottom line is this. I didn't expect to win this game. I was pleasantly pleased that they competed for 3.5 quarters. So I wasn't devastated with the loss because I really didn't think they'd win it. But the way they did lose, that scares me. You know, come playoff time, you know, tie game or down 2, Darren Williams with the ball, is he going to make the right decision? Well, right now he's proven for most of the body of work in his net career that he's not a big-time player come crunch time. Now, Johnson, who's been awful for 38, 39, whatever, 40, whatever minutes he plays, the first 47 minutes of a game, he's great the last minute. If somehow D. Will can get some of that, I don't know, step, little hop, little confidence that JJ has late, then maybe we'd have something. But disappointed in the way it ended, of course, but happy they competed. Now, listen, if you get the win tonight in Phoenix, then I honestly don't have any issues at all with this loss. I mean, I'm not a moral victory dude, but you know what? They played well. They had a shot. They were down 2 with 40 seconds to go. Your leader coughed it up, and then your leader also got basically bitch slapped the entire fourth quarter by the way better point guard. I mean, if anyone wants to question who's the best, CP3 or D. Will, I mean, let's take a look. Although it's not all on D. Will. Our pick and roll defenses are atrocious. It always is. I don't know why we're not better at it. I don't know why it's not worked on. Brooke Lopez stinks at it. Reggie tried it a little bit, maybe a little bit better, but we got basically CP3'd in the fourth quarter. He just took over the game and willed his team to victory because nobody else on the Clippers really did much late. I mean, if you hold Griffin to 11.7 boards, you're pretty happy. Butler only had 8. Jordan was significant. Jordan had a plus 16 in the game. He was dominant. He didn't miss a shot. He was 6 for 6. And Willie Green gave them a big boost early in the game as well. But it was the CP3 show. They are a better team than us. They were looking for revenge for the game they won in Brooklyn. Not jumping off the deep end over the loss. I will be very upset if you don't beat Phoenix. And I'm not going to say it's going to be easy because Phoenix, can give you, any team in the NBA in their building can give you a game. Hopefully the Nets have enough in them to get a victory. Don't care if it's pretty or ugly. Just get the victory tonight. And then hopefully we can get one more of those next 3 and then go to Cleveland. And then maybe we could, get 5 wins on this trip, which to me would be awesome. All right, so leave me alone. We'll see you after the Phoenix game.